What is up, you fantastic, wonderful people? Today, well, like a week and a half ago, was the day Spider-Man 2 and all of 19 inches of Venom in his glory arrived. It's here. It was a 5-year wait. The first game came out, I believe, in September of 2018. It is now October of 2023, probably November when I get this video out, but the point still stands that we now have Spider-Man 2. And what do I think of it? Because officially, this is the only place to get the actual review. Nowhere else matters. Everywhere, I mean, people are getting pissed that IGN gave it like an 8 because they gave Mario a 9. Spider-Man 2 is Insomniac's magnum opus, while also still being a really safe game. I think Insomniac's Spider-Man 2 goes more to show just how good Spider-Man 1 was than how, like, because this game, it's hard to say, because this game isn't mediocre. I was about to say mediocre, which isn't the right word, because it's a fantastic game, but they don't really step any like massive boundary in anything other than the story. The story is massive and grand in a way that Insomniac's never done before, and we'll get to that in a bit, but I want to start with the gameplay, because I think that's the most like iffy thing here, and I'd rather get the negatives, or the few negatives I have, out of the way first. The gameplay is fine. I mean, back when the first game came out, it was a huge thing, and it was a fantastic gameplay system, but it was because we hadn't seen it before, and it was like new to get this level of Spider-Man in a game, and it made you feel like Spider-Man, you know? Then you had Miles Morales, and they didn't change the gameplay much, which made sense because that was more of a DLC than an actual game. But now on Spider-Man 2, and the gameplay is pretty much the same still. Like, yeah, you get the Venom symbiote powers and suits and stuff, and then you get Miles comes back and he gets some new evolved bioelectricity, I think they call it. And so they add some new stuff. You get the web wings for traversal and stuff, and they add some new stuff, but they never really took many huge leaping steps forward. It was a very safe sequel in the gameplay part, which, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So I can kind of understand why they didn't make any huge leaps forward with the gameplay, because the gameplay still is really fun. It's essentially almost hack and slash gameplay. If you played the Arkham games or you've played the Spider-Man games, you know how just addictive it can be. You crank the difficulty up to the harder difficulties, and I think you've got a winner for gameplay, because it's just so much fun to sit there and whack on enemies, get these perfect dodges, not take a single bit of damage with 500 enemies around you, because you can get good enough at it by the end of the game where they can send all this stuff at you and you just demolish them. Mix a combination of good gadgets with abilities and just straight up punching and dodging. It flows so smoothly. It's so nice. And now you have the ability to choose from Miles and Peter, or both of them. Sometimes there's gameplay segments where you're playing as Miles and Peter. So when you go to do a finisher attack, they like take a little time to do a little one of those bad boys. But in other missions, it's just Miles or it's just Peter, and those, you know, flow super smoothly. So gameplay isn't anything to gawk over. I mean, they didn't take a massive step forward, but they add enough stuff where it keeps it feeling somewhat fresh for most of the game. But I just hope in Spider-Man 3, because obviously there's going to be a third one, they set it up pretty easily in this game, that I hope in the third one they take a couple bigger steps to really change that gameplay and make it feel as new as it did back in 2018. With that one sort of negative out of the way, because that's really the only like negative to say I have of the game, let's start getting to the other stuff. The score. Let's start with the score. The score is fantastic. You have everything from the grand heroic themes of Miles and Peter. You have the exaggerated swagger of a black teen in Miles's theme. And then you just have, you know, the classic big horns, big triumphant. You have the big triumphant chords and stuff in Peter's theme. Those are both grand and epic. And then Venom's theme, you get a really sort of dark and sadistic, twisted version of that, which I thought was really cool. You jump over to Kraven, you get this really like, kind of reminded me of the Batman, and it's just like this really like synthy and like just like, you know, you feel me. I don't really know how to describe music well, but it's really like, the score is amazing, but I mean, it wasn't the first game as well. The characters are all still here. Peter and Miles both really play well off of each other. MJ's still here, and MJ missions are still the worst part of the game, because they kind of did the opposite in the first game. They were just boring because they were super easy, and now they just instead made MJ super overpowered. So instead of making it that like linger of fun stealth gameplay, it was originally she just had pretty much nothing to do, so they were boring. Now it's they give her a bit more to do, and you have a bit more abilities to be able to play with. Not like superhero abilities, but you have like tase guns and stuff. But now she's too overpowered, and she takes down everyone in a couple of hits, which, you know, more power to you. Yay, woman and stuff. Yeah, sure. But it just makes it so boring to play. That's my issue with it, is it's just so, because it's so easy to do anything. In the first game, you were down here because you'd had nothing to do, and it was so easy. Now you have more to do, but it's so easy because they make you so overpowered, if that makes any sense. So the MJ missions still kind of suck, but MJ as a character is fine. I still enjoy MJ and how she motivates Peter and stuff. I think the two standouts here, though, are easily the villains. Venom. You know what? The game's been out for like a week and a half. If you don't know who Venom is at this point, you're a fucking idiot, and you clearly don't care. You're not an idiot, but you clearly don't care. So I'm just going to say Harry Osborn. Harry Osborn is Venom, and I think Harry Osborn and Kraven are the two best parts of the game. I really like their characters, and especially how Harry plays with Peter and, you know, finally coming back and wanting to start a company with Peter and all that. There's a really nice connective tissue there. And then watching Peter just throw Harry under the bus so often when he has the black suit, it's a really nice, I like that dynamic a lot. And Kraven is just so badass, bro. Like, you don't see a ton of Kraven in the game, but when you do, it works. And I really liked Kraven. I don't know much about Kraven. Like, I know he's like this ultimate hunter, but this game got me more hyped to see more Kraven, which is why, you know, they have a movie coming in like next year or something, because it got delayed a shit ton. But it got me hyped to see the movie, if anything, because I want to know more about this character. That was badass. But the story also works really well too. This is definitely Insomniac's magnum opus in terms of story. It flows really well. It doesn't linger. I hear a lot of people complain that's not long enough, and fuck off to those people. I'm so tired of these stupid games that are like 70, 60, 80 hours, but most of the game you're sitting there walking on a fucking horse from point A to point B while you get exposition dumped on you, or you're sitting there flying on your broomstick to the other side of the map just to get exposition dumped on you, or you're fucking just driving in a car with exposition getting dumped on you. I'm so fucking tired of it, dude. It's so boring, and it's actually made me start to hate AAA games, because all of them, they don't try to make it better, they try to make it longer, and people think longer equals better when that's just not the case. I'm so fucking sick and tired of it. I would take a solid 20-hour game, because that's about how long it took me. I platinumed Spider-Man 2, and it took me about 28 hours. So take that as you will. I feel like a regular playthrough, if you're doing a normal amount of side quests and stuff, probably like 20 hours to beat the game. And that's plenty. That's plenty. Because it doesn't ever feel like it's dragging or slowing down to a hole. It is constantly moving and throwing shit in your face, and that's exactly how I like it. Like, I feel like some people have way too much time on their hands when they like playing games that are like 70 hours of fucking walking simulators. I'm looking at you, Cyberpunk, like Hogwarts Legacy, like Red Dead Redemption 2, like every fucking AAA game these days. Give me more just actual games where I'm playing a game instead of just walking. That does lead me back around. I forgot to mention one negative. I don't know why it just popped in my head, but the bugs. I don't think this game's broken by any means. It's actually a very well-polished game in today's standards, and I think I'm dissing less of how bad Spider-Man 2 is versus just how great PlayStation Studio games generally are with polishing, because Spider-Man 2 is by no means broken. Never did I like experience a great, Jesus Christ, I can't fucking speak. Never did I experience a game-breaking glitch. It was mainly as stuff like there was this one time I was fighting a boss and he got stuck in a wall. There was this other time this guy just kept repeating the same phrase over and over.
He wants the plant! He wants the plant! He wants the plant!
There was this one time I tried to kill a dude in a pit of lava, and the game decided it wasn't going to do that, even though I had already brushed his skull into the concrete below. So he was obviously already dead, but fine. Pushing him into lava, too much. And there was a couple other things. Those are a couple that I remember right off the top of my head. Like I said before, I never experienced any game-breaking glitches. The one time where the boss got stuck in the wall, I mean, I had to restart a checkpoint, but the checkpoints are generous enough in this game where it sent me back like one phase of the boss, and then I just got to re-experience it a little bit. It wasn't by any means like a game-breaking glitch. Like some other games these days are so fucking broken. It's like, how did they release this like this and get away with it? Sound design in this game is also incredible. I especially love when you're playing as Peter. Generally, it's like this, you get, when you're swinging through the city, you get this really big triumphant swing and the horns come in right as you reach a peak and stuff, and it makes you feel so badass. And then when you're on a normal walk, it just sounds like a normal street. But then you get infected with the Venom symbiote and you get the black suit. And this is where the game really shocked me, because you're sitting there right after you get it and it's dead silent around the street.
Woo!
I'm the first person in my family to ever leave King. Hope your day picks up, Spider-Man.
And it was just like so weirdly off-putting to make you, the player, feel like as if something is not right. And it was really cool. And then you're swinging and it's that same like sort of like twisted, darkened version of the Spider-Man theme. It was really cool. The sound design here is immaculate. I feel like that's something I don't mention in a lot of games ever, because it's generally not something that sticks out a ton. Like, it's obviously a really important part of games, but it's not something that ever like sticks out to me. This game, it really stuck out to me. Everything's really good here in the sound design department. The side quests are pretty much, if you enjoyed doing the side quests in the first game, you'll enjoy them in this game. They're a lot better in this game because they took out the bullshit do 5 of every type of crime in every type of part of the town. That shit was annoying. Rid that. You don't have to actually complete any crimes to 100% the territories. You only get to do the fun stuff. There's some that are less fun, like going around collecting spider bots, although that does lead to a pretty cool Easter egg, which I'll let you discover for yourself. But then there's some like this like cult side quest that led to a really cool like sort of tease for the next game that I thought was really cool. The Mysterio like Mysteriums led to a pretty cool boss fight. Even though the boss fight was really simple, it was still a pretty cool boss fight. And so most of them, I do think, and like even stuff like the Prowler stashes, you know, those led to a pretty nice and rewarding moment for completing all of them. So I do think they did a little bit more better of a job at making you feel accomplished for completing things. Like in the original game, you collected all 56 backpacks and you just got a suit, and that was like cool, I guess. Now you get like this whole like cutscene thing, and it's like this whole play, and I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm gonna just shut myself up right there. But it's a lot better done. It makes it feel a lot more rewarding to complete these, and I would say they're more fun. Stealth is another thing. Stealth, I actually think they worsened. I hear everyone like ranting and raving about the stealth in this game, like, wow, the web lines make it so much more compelling to do stealth. I had the exact opposite. I thought they made stealth so fucking easy in this game. The stealth was already pretty easy in their first games. That's why I generally don't use stealth in this game. I find it funner to just jump in and beat the shit out of everyone in the Spider-Man games. But this game, it's even less appealing to do stealth because they add the web line, which makes it so fucking simple. Because at least in the original couple of games, you had to use your webs or whatnot to draw enemies towards a spot so you could actually reach them and take them down. Now you just fucking shoot a web line right over them, walk right on top of them, wait till it says safe, pick them up. And you can just do that, and you could literally make the game so fucking simple for yourself. It's so boring to do stealth in this game. I don't get why everyone's ranting like they super improved stealth. I actually think they worsened stealth with the web line. I wish they would have added a limit to like make it like an ability or something, so you have a limit to how many you can fire, because you can fire as many as you want. You could make a whole fucking roof out of these web lines if you wanted. It's insane, and I think it makes stuff way too easy, and I don't get why everyone's like ranting and raving about how that completely solves stealth in the game, because I had the opposite feeling. But in conclusion, the game is definitely Insomniac's magnum opus. There's some downsides to it. It's not a perfect game by any means, but it's a pretty fucking good game from Insomniac. Like, very, very solid. I might even say it's my favorite game of the year so far. It would be tight. This is definitely a contender for game of the year no matter what, and I think it very deservingly earns that place. If they just fixed the stealth, fleshed out a couple more of the bugs, and made the combat a little more intuitive and new, I think you would have had an absolutely perfect game on your hands. But overall, the characters, the story, the sound design, the animations, everything else except those 3 complaints is perfect. Any of those complaints aren't like massive complaints. It's just like minor like gripes I had with it. But in a game that's good, you kind of have to find those minor gripes. At the end of the day, I'm thinking I'm gonna give Spider-Man 2 an 8 out of 10. That was just a joke. I was making fun of IGN and trigger baiting people. I'd probably give it like... I'd give it like an 85 out of 100. I think that's what it deserves. It's not quite a 9 out of 10 yet, but it's a damn good game on the Slosh official review scale. I think that's where it deserves. You know, it's not a perfect game by any means, but it's a damn good game. And yeah, that's about it. Toodles.